All right, everybody, let's get started for a new week. Big shout out to the chat. Welcome back. How's everyone doing today? And today we're going to get right to crypto. I think that's a good place to start after BTC Miami last weekend. What's going on, Chef, James Island, David, Swooping Hawk, Evan, Miss Stephanie, everyone else? We're here Tuesday, Thursday, 12 noon Eastern. And, of course, you need to hear it. We do have more new people coming in every day. So if you guys spot new people, if people have questions, feel free to ask in the Discord. Get over to Harmonic Trader and become a basic member right there. Register now. And then all the information, again, you need to start is here. Some of the stuff I showed last time on the option charts were available on eSignal, so get that information there. That's a free trial as well, but everyone needs to start with the TradingView product because it's web-based. I think it's easiest. You can get it free, get the free trial. So send your username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. That takes care of that. So a couple things I want to get right into with Bitcoin and then some of the mega tech that keep working. Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, with the markets doing what they're doing. Looks pretty good for a nice summer. So let's get on that. Let's, though, dial it back to Bitcoin. And just kind of clear it out. We'll do our top 5, but Bitcoin is still grinding right where it should be. And that's at 27,000, 26,000, however you want to call it. But it's You've got a few things down here off of that last correction crab pattern. That's even on a 4 hour. So we're grinding sideways, and that's what you want to see at these patterns. I do expect a bump up to 28.5. So what do you guys think of that? It wouldn't be anything spectacular, but little reaction 28.5, and then come back down. And maybe you drag until the 21st of June. Anything is on the resistance side is still going to be 30,500 max, and probably 26.8, 26.7 for now. But here's the daily deal. We still have these bullish HSI signals where you're oversold in the short-term daily perspective of things. So, and let's see, maybe today we get a 3-bar breakout. That would be something. If you're looking for Bitcoin to do anything, it has to have one strong day to get it going, really. I think get it above 3-bar range is essentially 2 days ago. Looking for a close above 27,370, 27,400. And maybe then you would have something in the short term. Watch that closely. That's really big. We do have signals there. And the other thought about this is that if this shark is going to fail, so this larger shark from earlier in the year, which is, something maybe I haven't talked enough about this, I think, what this shark really means. But this shark bottomed last November, set up a 1618 off the low. Okay. Pretty nice formation. Almost a perfect definition. It's not almost, it is a beautiful harmonic impulse wave. It's a bearish harmonic impulse wave because you threw it down to a 1618 and then straight back to a 1618 with a perfect reaction off of there. That also led you to a 5-0. And maybe we didn't talk enough about that either, where on Bitcoin, this is a 5-0. By definition, 20,935. 5-0s are difficult. They're not easy to pinpoint, and this didn't even have confirmation. But you're still 2 of 2, and you're threatening to blow it out with daily bullish confirmation at a pretty high extreme. So you fail 26,000, okay, maybe you're going to do more damage. But for now, you probably just grind up here. Doesn't change much. I would think anything of a pullback would be a place to look at, because as time ticks on and you get closer to this Bitcoin halving next year, I think you want to be positioned for a longer term move. Does that come and give you a retest of like 20,000? I don't think so. I just think this Bitcoin halving, no offense to the Bitcoin maximalists, will be a self-fulfilling prophecy no matter what. You're going to get activity. You're going to generate money capital to flow back to Bitcoin next year in anticipation of, trying to make this cycle repeat again. So if that's the case, I would be looking at 4-hour pullbacks. I would be looking at daily short-term signals like this. They don't come along too often. I mean, look at the last 3 bullish readings. You had one back here in February, took some time, but then got going. And the other one was September. Spread out over at least 3-month minimums. So just because Binance Coin's not doing much, it's not the case that it's not saying a lot. Let's go to Ethereum. Same deal. Probably not even as good as Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's had a few tests, more time, basing at that high level, but we know where Ethereum needs to go. There's target 1 off the crab. And you have to think of this stuff as an automatic process. It's not going to go in a straight line. You're going to have some fluctuations in between, but if you're riding the trend, and this is definitely pattern on the trend, it's fairly well established going back over 6 months, and I'm going to respect that trend until it clearly is violated. The other takeaway from the fact that we've violated the bat pattern, that little bat pattern had a reaction, but now we violated above 1762. That's why you're seeing this thing, one of the reasons why it's holding 1760. Prior pattern, trying to put in some support. Then it's just, okay, we hold here. Well, the only target right in front of us is target 1 off the crab pattern. So generally, I still say we're looking at this 1760, 1800 area to be some kind of floor to launch you to 2400. Maintain that trend line. So it's not fun. Crypto's not fun right now, and everyone's looking for the moon. It's not fun. It's a grind right now. So, Bitcoin needs to do its thing, but there's a whole lot of development that has to occur. At this point, I'm not surprised. And I'm not ruling out the fact that 2400 would be the definition of a reaction move. I do want to kind of highlight the fact that this is also its own kind of impulse wave where, let me do it this way, that the long-term structure is there. And I don't know if it's going to take off this summer, this fall, or first quarter of next year, but you have even a 5-0 formation where somewhere between 2,400, 3,000, I'm just ballparking, bigger numbers, are still what this whole consolidation and new cycle are about. Those would be reasonable targets, but they're going to take time. 1 second. Anyway, you got to take advantage of those pullbacks, though. I think you trade them and you keep trading them unless they explode through your numbers. But not much here. 4-hour patterns, it's still printing bearish patterns on Ethereum and within this uptrend. Here's a couple of oversold 4-hour HSI arrows that I would start to look at. That's generally, like I said, around 1800, 1790. Plenty of time. There is no reason to FOMO in any of this because look at how many comes up, then retests, and just grind. Thrust up, come back, retest. That's what these micro traders are doing as they bot trade that stuff, quite frankly. Daniel, what's happening today? Daniel says, can we look at the emerging biotechs and weed stocks? Really putting in big time patterns, absolutely ripped off the bottom since Friday. You have quite a few names. All right, fire them up. No pun intended. Yep. If you guys have some other things you want to put them in the chat, please go right ahead. I'm going to finish up with crypto first. Number 3, Binance Coin. Maybe we should start looking at Binance Coin a little bit more. Just because I think they have evolved into being a bigger player. We also, the 4-hour chart, check this out. Holding 300 with multiple patterns down there. And we did get the Gartley just over the weekend. Perfect 2 of 2 off the crab, as we talked about last week. Go to Thursday's session. It was a type 1 to 305 to 315. Now we should be in a type 2. Only question I have, do we come back and have to do a 2 of 2 of the Gartley and then go again? You would know if it violated 311. If it rolled back under 311. This thing should be on a straight continuation to 325. Otherwise, look for the retest and then go again. I don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters because Binance Coin's still just grinding this 300 support. Holding. Now you're going to see if there's real demand for the Binance Coin. Times like these. Number 4. Let's just say it's Cardano. And not doing much. Just slow grind. Back down. Recall the daily formation here where the reason why I wanted to just say this, because we never got to the full type 2. It would have been a perfect deep crab. Really would. But I'm willing to say if something develops in here, let's say we get a bullish pattern print, like a bat pattern or something at 32 or 30 cents, and we get another bullish confirmation, I would look at that. So I don't want to get overly bearish on this thing, just because I think this has such a following where once it does get going, and there's your weekly, it looks terrible, but you're making progress now. It's a lot better spot than where you were last year, even since January. It's probably in a better spot because you got like that. So now retest some kind of low here and form another pattern on the daily chart. Either another pattern or retest of that low. That's it. Number 5, XRP. You know, if you can get into this, technically you're just looking for continuations off of this bat pattern. So your last level was 41, 42 cents, and just play that like a ladder. Eventually, we'll get to our 90 cents, 92 cent move. That's it. That's the software is kicking out that structure. I think it's an all-time bat pattern, but like the rest of them, okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, ideal every time. Crypto is a different creature. Where, okay, take 300 days, 300 weeks, whatever. Whenever this cycle plays out, 92 is the target. No question. Just how long do you want to stay on that? Round Earth says, do I know that, or do you know what Bitcoin will hit 70K in July? I don't think it'll go above, I think target one at 37, 38,000. Thanks for those names, Daniel. I'll look at them in a minute. Really quick, I want to highlight just a handful of crypto. Not a lot today. Oh, before we go, quick peek at total crypto market cap. The only thing you care about is this staying above $1 trillion. That's it. And you want that trend line to continue. So it's a week over week, month over month consideration now. Last week was they took a little chunk out. It's been a down a few weeks, but doesn't mean you have to be, it's going to the end of the trend. It's actually pretty close to registering, maybe a little bit lower on HSI. Your first one in a while. And the daily total, it's like crypto. It's like Bitcoin. You're sitting at this higher level of a semi-failed pattern. Some HSI dots down here at 1.1, but much like Bitcoin and the rest, you have a target 1 that puts you to 1.62 trillion. And we're looking for this to hold that trend line and just be in the process of going to target 1. Like any pattern would in whatever stage, whatever time frame. That's the deal. One moment. One moment. Gotta look at a couple things here. Okay. Let me look at a couple of the smaller crypto we've been talking about recently that I think are moving, because most really aren't. But here we're back on this render. And we had a bat pattern up here, depending on the time frame. There you go. But this is clearly doing things. After, banging this other bat pattern here, let's pull that up. There you go. It kind of morphed into a crab pattern, but after it did the 1-2. So I would consider that breaking out, trying to do bigger things. This was the first reaction off that bat. We actually had 2 bats down there. Then you come back. It was 205 to 165, 238 to 165. And then we were looking for the retest back one more time. And it blew on through. And the numbers are larger where, and don't jump on this, don't FOMO, but we'll feature it because this breakout just started 2 days ago. Plenty of time, but your targets are, let's look for some kind of pullback. We're looking for 290 to 340 on render. At least that moves. Wouldn't want to jump on that. Maybe 165 was a nice little segmented return trade. I had mentioned that, but again, I was just looking for range moves. Now this one's kind of broken out. I haven't done anything with it, but I got my eye on it. Also, look at that. S&P's low of the day right now. Let me go. I'm going to jump over there in a second. Because the market hit a bunch of levels. Some of them more advanced than the others. QQQ hit 338. So we'll get to that in a second. Let me finish up the couple of the... There's only a few. Again, a few crypto special cases that I'd be looking at. Is the Stacks? Was this one? I think it's a 4-hour on Coinbase here. Yeah, there you go. Here's a shark pattern where another one of these that ran 5x, 10x. What was it? Oh, yeah. 6x or more. Nice shark pattern where couple of attempts. Not there yet, but I'm looking for a yellow dot. That's STX, it's Stacks, USD. Feel like that could, maybe pop off back to $1. But that's the kind of thing I've been mentioning where you look for these to come back, retrace what they did 40, 50%, and then go again. What was the other one? Here's the OP, Optimism. Another one, butterfly off the top. I'm just looking at this stuff, okay? Need to be clear on that. And a lot of these are retesting their big HSI signals now. Where is that? Is that OP? Sorry, I just confused those two. Opti and OP. Yeah, here it was. This OP tether. So hop level with confirmation is 146. You're already consolidating, but I would look for this thing maybe 160 back to 190 or as high as 215. Few of these, though, are setting up like that. And here's the other one. Veracity. Check out this little Gartley on the 4-hour. So that's about 4 cents, 4.38. Excuse me, 0.438 or 0.43. So I own that maybe as low as 0.418. But this one did a nice thrust up. Retracing. You got some daily HSI down there. What was the other? There's a huge pattern down here too. It's kind of a big retest of this shark. A couple patterns of the Gartley shark. And those minimum levels are like 0.0072. There's a few of those. I'm just trying to line up some things that have triggered, other things that are moving. Here's the last one is this ocean. 13 at the low, went to what? 55. I think that was a 4-hour. Sorry, there you go. 4-hour back-to-back on ocean. Shark pattern, deep crab, all of that around 29 cents. It's at 33 at the moment. But there's a few of the kind of patterns you want to be looking for. All right, let's jump over to stocks. Big stock market update. Let's go to QQQ. I really said that kind of took over from the SPY just a few days ago of the most important area to be focused on because of what the mega tech caps are doing, which could potentially drag the rest of them up to at least the 88 all-time 886s. Today could be the day where at least we're going to start to digest. QQQ trying to come out of the zone. Take a look. HSI rolling over on the daily. Amplified. So we didn't have that 2 weeks ago. I released the monthly report for members where we're saying, look, we want to look for that from this last HSI to the next HSI or dot as high as the hop level on the Qs. So you're real close. Not to mention this other, you have a couple patterns that are really do demand attention. You have a few bearish patterns. You had a pattern from last year. Generally, what I'm saying is 338 is a huge number. And it's a first number, but it's a huge number. So if we see to start this thing kind of pause up here a couple of days and then check back, that would be the kind of setup to look for. Also, we have a big target one off of the shark, 346.83. And I think that's probably the ultimate target, whether it happens in the next month, 3 months for this move. That's the area, the bigger area I would look for. I just think this thing is, it's got to digest the last 2 weeks. It's been pretty phenomenal stuff. Pretty phenomenal things kind of coming together here that you want to respect that can only go so far, so fast. Those are the big numbers. I think the Qs, look at the futures for NASDAQ futures. Again, another reason why TradingView's got a great general data feed available to everybody. We do have an alternate bat here, but the bigger takeaway is the same shark that has marked the bottom. This shark from last year marked the bottom 11,500 generally. A butterfly, smaller butterfly, perfect example of a small pattern inside the completion of a big pattern. But the alternate bat here, still not officially complete. We're looking for maybe as high as 14,228. That would be target one on the shark. So not really too surprised to see this thing at least pause. I think that's all it is. There's the 4-hour. It's been a remarkable run since the March low. Little midterm butterfly, perfect. And then that next leg has been just on fire. And you have to go back to the weekly on NASDAQ to get an idea of what's the potential here. Because we are at a level where we would expect some resistance, not only structurally with that midpoint at 35.6, couple of our proprietary signals, but it's busting right through for now. And I don't think it's going to take much more. Another solid week, 2 weeks, will trigger the 886, and you have to go back onto the weekly or even monthly levels to connect dots and say, there's a shark. I go and break out above the B point. This is the first week. Really the first week of trying to do follow through. Your only possibility, again, is a full 886 retest. And that's, I don't even want to say it, 16,375. But that'll take time. Longer term, please understand. That could take into next year. Next fall, something like that. But you're not far from at least trying to start that scenario into serious consideration. Weekly shark, even something I mentioned a while back as well, the monthly probably hasn't even displays it more clearly with a lot of green candles over the last 8-10 months. And now you're, making progress above that B point, trying to close above it. That's what you want to see to trigger the 886 breakout move on the monthly. We've been working at this the better part of 8 months, 9 months now. So maybe another 3 to 6 months to really get going. It wouldn't be crazy, but that's why I keep saying look at Meta, look at Microsoft for pullbacks on 5-minute charts as opportunities within this trend. I think now you've got some of these that are coming back on the 4-hour where I'd want to digest what's happened since the beginning of the month. Not to mention, folks, Monday's a holiday. Let me take a look there. Yeah, so that would be the 29th. A lot going on. I mean, really, it's better than last year for sure. Almost the opposite. Let me do the SPY quickly, and then I'll look at stocks, because there are a lot of stocks that are starting to turn off of mega patterns, I would say. Good way to call it. Here's the SPY. So we have said look for full retest of 420, 423, maybe as high as 429. And haven't, the last HSI signal is the bullish reading that most of you know. Since that triggered, we've been looking for a higher move back into the zone, which we've done. Do we have anything up here? Nothing's confirmed up here yet. And the only other thing price action wise, you would want to see some kind of violation of a 3-bar range. So we're, maybe going to retest the 3-day range 413, 414. And until you see something dramatic, we're just still consolidating until you generate the next signal. You're close to hitting a number of bigger levels, but it's still up for now. This line that I drew, I think I drew this in the last session, is a big line. I mean, we get to the 423, 425 area, I'll be looking for some kind of resistance confirmation. I mean, the best thing for this would be and we go to the weekly chart, you would want to see an acceleration. Because here's the deep crab, and like a lot of the patterns I've talked about, the weekly patterns that were generated at the low late last summer, early last fall, look like this, and they want to go to target 2. That's 429, much like Microsoft and several others that have blown on through. Above that level, there's nothing. I mean, above that level, I've said this before, 886, run for the 886. It's that big. And I think it sets up for, or what it suggests is that, maybe 2024 will be the year that you break out. Let's go take a look at the top 4 or 5 mega tech. Microsoft's still number 1. It's going to be number 1. Nothing there yet. Overbought, weekly amplified RSI, but just rolling over now. Daily. There's your daily on Microsoft, trying to flash a deep crab, and we know that the all-time 886, let me adjust that, this should be a minimum, is 335, 338, and then you have a 1618. I still say this is more like targeting 340, maybe 350 on this move. And with that little pattern, hey, I need to see some kind of overbought confirmation. It's not there yet. And go on the weekly. So this is a more interesting chart. Clean it up. But, I'll blow through the mega tech with continued patterns that basically make last year a simple retracement. I think if you can get over the fact that the action from 2021 was just overdone and you had to retrace it, you had to pay for those gains, within the long-term trend, you're looking for this to continue. Why wouldn't you? And that pattern, do we get a full retest back to 216? I won't consider that until I see some kind of major bearish confirmation. It's not there yet. Big stuff. I mean, look at, say, Amazon. Same kind of deal, but this has even further to go. 122.40. Taking its time, but then get perspective on the all-time trend. I don't think anything else has changed. This is much like the story with Microsoft and Google. What was last year? It was a correction within the decade-long uptrend. And that's it. And then maybe 2 years from now, you're making a run at all-time new highs. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Keep an eye on those mega patterns. They're playing out. Here's the other one, and I told people that I started getting along this. Intel, you tell me. Big, deep crab. I want to be looking under 30, close to 28. This might not do much for months, 3 months, 6 months, what have you. But I like it down here, under 30, 28 area, somewhere in there. And I'm not going to buy it all at once. Started a small position. But longer term, I'm thinking that pattern's a cycle low. Couple more. Google, which is already at a 618 all-time retracement. Okay. I'm watching 125, but there's no dot. Nothing is developed yet. Not far even from 886 retracement on Google's 140. What's that 5-minute look like? Yeah, all these are pulling back today. Not a biggie. Yeah, there was a little bat pattern. Not much. The last one, look, probably haven't talked enough about it. Netflix. There you go, pulling off. Couple of 5-minute patterns at 362 that just reactions failed in the pre-market though. But look at this on Netflix. So Netflix, same kind of a thing where last year the 2021 to 22 deal really makes that like a shark. And we really should go all the way back to like the COVID, pre-COVID, something like that. And if that is a shark, then let's target a 5.0 minimum for Netflix. And it's just going to stair step and climb, but that 50% retracement puts you 430 level, which I think you're just climbing that. If this thing was going to really break down that last correction back in, what was that, early March, that would have not turned around. Keep an eye on Netflix. Put that in the list. Final one is Tesla. And then I'll look at some symbols. But look, what are we going to do with Tesla? Because weekly looks like it's consolidating, trying to turn up. Daily time frame, the shark is ruling. It's a type 2 shark that did get to target 1. It's really type 2 because this was target 1. We're, hitting a wall at 188, folks, but that's not the objective. The objective is 210 because it's type 2. No confirmation yet. No confirmation. But they all look pretty good, right? If we get some confirmation soon or these things roll over, do some 3-bar damage, I'll start looking at them. But longer term, you've got a lot of things to the left here. And even, again, Tesla, target 1 hasn't been touched. Target 2, a lot higher at 295. Those are not out of the question. All right, couple new ones. Daniel, you asked first. You're asking about banks. Where's your list? I see it. Okay. You wanted to look at banks, cannabis, which I'm not a fan of. I had my shot there. And it did not work well. But that was like 2 years ago. I see what you got. CGC, Canopy. Yeah, I don't know. Again, here are mega patterns. We've seen this in crypto. Yes, or at least I agree that you have weekly oversold triggers down here. But man, I don't know. Really don't. I just don't think this is. There's daily. You always have great patterns, and I appreciate it. You always take the time, no doubt. But this is where the trend comes in, and that's something I wanted to talk about today because the trend matters. We're seeing that in crypto and cannabis, same kind of deal. I mean, yes, you would think these things should make bank, but not when they can't reinvest proceeds or when they can't properly process proceeds, and then they don't, there's just a slew of regulatory issues that basically the government created this industry, in my opinion, and then all the people that went through the legal process have been driven out through regulation. And in that environment, if this wasn't going to happen 2 years ago or a year ago, yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful type 2 pattern where maybe you throw $1,000 at it if it survives. But I don't. I tried to play this down here. Where was that? It was back in October 21, exactly, and it just failed miserably. I did catch that first move back in 2020. You guys know I thought this was a massive pattern. We talked about that canopy at 14. Ended up going in that crazy spike move to 55. But That's what happens. A couple of more. You were also saying biotech. What about that Labu? That's a biotech 3x shares. This is like a boil. Didn't we have some patterns down here? Yeah, there you go. You had some patterns. You were mentioning biotech, that BAT pattern, type 1 BAT pattern. Maybe a retest on that. Some of the biotech that I like, again, we've been looking at Amgen. We looked at that at 228 to 230. It gapped through that, but I still said still think it's valid. I'm just, we haven't really, it didn't act, it went straight through where we were looking. I'd put this out last week. I said, give it a day, give it two. We're looking for that retest. 231 was the measured level, 230 psychological level. And then I think on the weekly, there's HSI down here. But we haven't broken out of the downtrend. I still say it is a type 2. Can we get a 3-bar breakout to start that? I would like that. A couple of more. Of course, something I mentioned a while back, Lilly. And I still have it on my radar, but we had a pattern last year, this deep crab at 318. Remember that? Amazing. That was February. 318 to 430. It's a little overcooked at the moment. Others that aren't, thing like Merck, starting to run, daily time frame. But look, perfect 1-2, deep crab, high level deep crab, and then now we have another HSI at a high level. These things are moving. Again, trend is your friend. Go back the last few years on Merck, or last 10 years. This would be good for the channel, that channel tool. But, that's it. You're at the upper end of that channel for Merck. But I don't think that long-term trend is going to stop anytime soon. These are also the kind of companies you want to be looking at for this next cycle, because they're clearly in long-term bull moves here. Our job is to wait for those pullbacks, like the ones like Pepsi and Johnson & Johnson and others. There was one other one. Was it Boston Scientific? I think this was a bearish daily. Yeah, another one overextended. So I think some of these biotechs are overextended, especially like that Eli Lilly. This Boston Scientific, 53. It's super strong, but flashing too many patterns for me. A couple more. What else did you have? PR. What is that? PRTK. They got to have, these have to have volume. Paratech Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, I think last week I talked about these low runners. $1, $2, $3. Not unless it's something that's got volume or some kind of story, I think, where you got the masses trying to jump into it. Not a fan. Not a fan. You can sit on this stuff for weeks or months and it goes nowhere. And then pop off one day. One more. What else did you have? Cano Health. Okay, nice one. I like that. It's a 2 of 2. That would be something. Here's a low runner, but that would be more of the kind of thing I would look at. Yes. That's hitting a couple of times just at $1. But remember, target one at $1.37 is almost a 40% gain from $1. And that might be it. Your whole trade, forget the left side of the chart. Your whole trade is probably between hop and target 2 as your maximum limits. That's it. But these are these low runners. You know, be careful. Don't overcommit. I've done that more than once. It's not fun because when they don't work out, yeah, what you're looking for here is something where, yeah, you can bang 30 or 50% minimum, maybe double or triple from there if it really goes, but but not anything spectacular beyond. I mean, that's spectacular, but not beyond that. Jack's Machine wants to see GRWG again. Is this a low floater? Sure is. Grow Generation, have no clue. Nothing there, my man. Nothing there, and all right, maybe there is something. Do you have the software? Because that would be why. I mean, you do have, all right, so I apologize for saying nothing's there. You do have a bat pattern, but again, such an ugly, massive, you know, that's a 95, 95+% decline. I need triggers. Like your first triggers, even on that deep fall, didn't even come in till $7, even though the pattern zone was at 11. And now you have a new one. I just don't think these low floaters are the way to go in this market. I prefer those bigger ones. Let's get over to some energy stocks because, hey, Chevron, right? Chevron, folks. Type 2. This is why we do what we do. This is why you get the software. Okay, because that's the 1-2 framework. Hop at 152.47. It was upgraded today. That's why you're getting the move. I don't care how I describe it. It's a 3-bar breakout above 156.40. But that's sweet. Target 2, also 177.93. We know the deal on energy. I've mentioned this where XLE, and still, I don't know if this is going to do the full retest, but you are, is almost a perfect 2 of 2 with this deep crab. It didn't get down there. So I'm going to be patient, not do anything, but I'm clearly watching it. I wish that hit 76.45. The low was 76.86, and that stuff does matter. The other one was ExxonMobil, the big ones. It's a shark. Look where it's a back-to-back pattern situation, and here we go, back again. This is probably the better call situation too. You're retesting this shark at 104.50 generally. Hop level was 100. Confirmation 103, and that was 3 days ago. And it did the perfect thing. Here's something where there's usually some kind of retest of the check back bar. I say this a lot. You see a yellow dot, you give yourself 3 to 5 bars. You better see action like this. Stabilization, turnaround, 3-bar breakout within like that 5-bar window, or you scratch. There's another one, retest, yellow dot, check back, roll over, 3-bar breakdown within 3 to 5 bars, folks. Whatever the time frame. This is a daily chart. But that's how to kind of size it up. Doesn't matter if it's crypto, whatever. Apple's moving. Let me see. Yeah, I like Apple. I'll go to Apple in a second. But I like these energy stocks. And what was the other one? Marathon. My old favorite. Didn't get down there. Just shy of. This was perfect. That low last week. Okay. 2163. The XA level for the retest, 2165. That happens, folks, and you suck it up. That's a type 2 where is it executable? Really difficult to say yes to that. It's probably something that gets away from you because I'm always looking on the retest, looking for a little bit beyond or retest of the initial entry and give me the dot at 21 or $20. Didn't happen. You got to let that go. That's why you have a kind of a stable of opportunities, and you let that go. The other energy market of consequence, nat gas, we did a dot a few days ago. There's the big butterfly on the daily, but we look what happened. We formed that HSI arrow on the downside, so expect this to go sideways. I'd still say yes. Down here on UNG, your HSI trigger is around 630. You probably retest that, but you go sideways now until this resolves itself somehow. Couple of more. Let's see here. What was the other one? I think LNG was the other one I wanted to bring up, where this is super long-term forever stock, but check it out. It's a type 2 daily shark pattern, basically putting a floor at 142, 143. We perfectly went to target one at 164.99. Then right back to the hop. Bounce around. Now you should get a yellow dot off of, oh, you didn't check back. But you did print a bat pattern, so 140, 183. I'm looking at that, just a reaction. Maybe we go sideways for a little bit here, but you've got back-to-back pattern dynamics. On a major kind of forever energy company, LNG is a monster. Again, go back and look. Here we go with trends again. So patterns within the trend are definitely your friend. And I think looking at where these are coming from, looks like a high-level pattern, but we can hold here. It looks like it's trying to break that pattern, but I think it's just an overshoot. A lot of confirmation down there at 140, 142 for LNG. And again, let's just weekly. Look at this weekly. Weekly is massive. And look at what we have here. Weekly HSI bullish confirmation. Bullish. It doesn't happen too much. And you're looking for that 140 area to hold. Those are big plays. And a lot of different energy companies like that coming together. Some other ones, some speculative ones are starting to move. Really quick, wanted to show you guys that. Where'd it go? This plug. All right, here, talk about low floaters. This is a low floater, but check it out. Couple of patterns down here. We had a daily hop level with an alternate bat, 761. You're now 890. And I know weekly this has should be a big pattern here. A couple of HSI. Sorry, what is here on plug? Maybe it's an all-time 886. I think it was fuel cell. Sorry, one of these alternative energy low floaters. We played them before. There's another one, butterfly type 2, basically $2, 220 area. You got a couple of HSIs that are counter at the moment, so I'm still looking at this. But they've come all the way down. They've done 2 of 2s. They just need to turn around. Couple more. Okay, you guys want to look at Neo. Isn't that like Rivian? Nice. Okay, some patterns there for sure. Probably just something where you need to get out of that downtrend. 682 is that hop level. Your bigger numbers are more like $11, and you're under there. And you do have confirmation on the daily. What's that weekly look like? Ah, yes. Who put this up? Who put this up? There you go. Vegas tech guy. Angelo, what's happening? Nice pick. I like that. I really do. And look, yellow dot confirmation this week could literally be the 3 bar breakout week. So, okay, again, treat this kind of like a low floater, but you've got pattern denoted by the sun icon. There's first mark of confirmation with a green arrow, and then bang, there's yellow dot. So show me to the right of that yellow dot. Again, 3 to 5 bar window. Post yellow dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bar 5's the low, bar 8 reversal. Okay, that's on my radar now. Thank you very much. Interesting. You know, that's not an option play. That's probably more like a stock, flat out stock play. Couple more. Clean, CLNE. Oh, I think I know that one too. Who put that in? Daniel, again. Another one. Very interesting. There you go. You could kind of say this does have crypto characteristics of just being a very frustrating 80% plus downtrend, but hey, at least we have confirmation here. I'm in no rush on that, but you're 435. You're not far from that measured level. I would be under that if you wanted to take a shot. But again, it's all about allocation. Don't over allocate, and you are looking for target one. That's how it goes. If you get a counter trend HSI like the last 1, 2, 3, just know that that could be more time resistance. Scratch it, look for another entry. Ivan, what's happening? BT is impressive. Those stocks have moved more than crypto itself. And we've been in front of this since $1. Really, type 1, bang, type 2. Remember when I said 12 would be crazy? How do you feel about that now? It's only 260. Like, go back to really January. I think that we got in front of this right as crypto started to take off. And that was January. And that's a double, almost triple. I don't think that stops, but hey, pull up the 5-minute window. You're looking to jump on that train. You know, some pullbacks, some patterns. The last set of patterns down here around 230. That's the development to wait for. Sometimes these things look like they're going to get away, or they start to rock off of the long-term patterns. Yeah, just in the last, 5-6 weeks, you had 2 or 3, 1 and 2, 3, 4 opportunities just on a 5-minute pattern to try to jump in on that continuation. Look at the pattern as like a footprint within the longer term time frame, but that's your sign. That's the flashing, like, hey, this is the spot. The pattern's telling me type 1 reaction, reversal likelihood occurs here. Type 1 goes back to the target. This one even higher, but that's the expectation. Now your full retest. Same deal on all of those techs. Couple of more. Yeah, plug's okay. So I like that. And then you do have some daily stuff. I mean, BT is up here trying to print up to this hop, a butterfly pattern off the low. Maybe as high as 277 on that move, but there's no confirmation here. So it's early. You're not really looking for anything just yet. I think 277. A couple of the others, the Riot and the Maras of the world, they have patterns up here too, looking like they're going to retest. Now, these are, last time we talked about Riot, it had that counter trend HSI dot where 1050, I was looking for 983. I didn't get that. Fell just shy, which means this is still type 1 reaction, usually stronger. If this just goes sideways and grinds up, then you're looking at a possible breakout above the hop level. And don't forget, look, you have a reason why it's doing the move. You have major patterns down there like BTBT. There you go. I mean, that's just remarkable. Riot last July at the low was like $4. But BTBT on a percentage basis is even better. This target one still in play though, 32.38 on Riot. So I'm looking for 4-hour, hourly pullbacks. Give me something, this kind of stuff. And then the other one was Mara. I don't think Mara's been as strong. Probably for me, BTBT would be the one to really focus on. Pattern-wise, here you go, Mara. Deep crab, a whole bunch of back-to-backs. Look at this. And this is the thing to be looking for when you're looking for 5-minute patterns. A lot of harmonic behavior. The software is kicking out all of these. Look, after a big double, it retraced and gave you a perfect bat pattern. Type 1, bang. Type 2, that's where we know structurally it's got some potential. Go straight to a deep crab. And this is still in the 1-2 phase. We never got up for the full retest, so I'm thinking another shark, maybe $8.30, call it $8. Let's say $8. Low 8s for a retest, and then go for, why not? And then go for the crab, something like that. Makes sense. That's 4-hour. Daily time frame is probably even better because this did, the deep crab you saw in the 4 hours sticks out on the daily even better. And it's perfect dot-to-dot action. 865. Yeah, maybe we don't come back. Maybe this is what I'm looking for on Mara and Riot and BTBT, a larger, can that bust out and go back to 1230? That would be a great return trade. I just don't have anything except for this shark. Pretty nice. Couple of more. Daniel's pushing MPW. I don't know what that is. Medical Properties Trust. Another floater. What are the volumes on these, man? Because, I mean, that's a beautiful pattern. 4-hour deep crab. Just my experience with these type of things, this downtrend is if it doesn't work, these things just, your position becomes a zombie position, just zombied. So I don't know what the volume is on that, but yes, beautiful crab pattern, 787 and minimum low. I think there's better stuff. I think the bigger cap stuff is better, flat out, than these low floaters. Couple more. Here's something that I posted in the Discord recently, and I started a position. Just started, but wolf speed. And I mentioned this because we were down there at a crab and confirmation. Look, 72 is possibility here. Just be patient. Get that on your radar, please. It's a big up today. Big up. Another one, maybe wait for that on some 5-minute pullbacks. But wolf speed looks good. It's just wait. If you're not in it, stay out. Just wait. We'll get another opportunity on these, but they're coming off of big formations. Okay, the question is, where are we in the trend? Here's Zoom Media. And Zoom's another one where I've been saying, okay, longer term daily patterns, some things around 68, 70, but hasn't done much. The weekly's like that, yeah. And we've been waiting on that 65, 68, 70. They tried to run it a little bit. Still waiting for a weekly 3-bar breakout. Another example where the trend is just crushing this until you can get early first signs. You need like a first thrust momentum to get this out of the way. This is different than, say, you go to something like It wasn't Square, it was Shopify. Okay, Shopify is isn't it a daily shark down here? Whole bunch of stuff. Sorry, I know there's a big pattern here. I think it was monthly. Maybe it was Square, but it's both. It's both Square. You have this kind of a thing. It's a shark pattern off the low. Here's your big impulse wave all the way down. Yellow dot, okay, first place that we would even consider it, but that was $30. It's real close to the low. Okay, and down here, that's a challenge, but you break out of that downtrend and now you're to the right of that at $30. That's a better spot. Even things like being able to put in a higher low and continue. You want to see that first. Let me go to Square because that's the other one, and I think this is what people should be looking for. We should be looking for these crushed tech stocks. Okay, a lot of them just starting to wake up now, but we should be looking for these crushed tech stocks to follow what Amazon, Google, Microsoft have done. The ones that aren't going out of business. And they're not there yet. They're just showing early signs here. But Block and Shopify and other ones that have been going sideways for a while, I think they're starting to do stuff like Palantir. Here's Palantir, trading a couple of big patterns. All time, this thing did a full reset here off the 886 and put in a couple of yellow dot confirmations. But an easy assessment for a lot of these, if it's a low floater or if it's one of these beaten up tech stocks that got crushed and we're looking for a cycle turnaround, give me a trend line breakout. And then, and Palantir is like, that's beautiful 3-bar initiation, I would call it, 2 weeks ago. And now you're starting to get going. Okay, you got my eyes, you got my attention. Early. One or two more. Wanted to show folks this. We've gone kind of a while. I started late today. But look, don't shy away from the big old economy stocks like Philip Morris. Here you go. Type 2, regular crab pattern. It's not going to be a huge monster, but we checked back 2 days ago, or yesterday actually, and we're 2 days away from a yellow dot. A lot of these are really nice setups that are boring, but they're better than the ones that are failing. It's like Chevron. It's like Exxon. Keep an eye on all that. I just think that's the way to go for now, because you're not going to get your low floaters are going to be selectively running. 1 second. I say that while S&P is going in lows of the day. Let's just circle back there. Let's look at the SPY. We didn't really identify anything yet this morning. I was looking at Meta and Microsoft. SPY. Look, SPY needs to break under 414 to really trigger a major structural turnaround off of this retest. And by definition, we are in a type 2 structurally, but we don't have any confirmation. So ride the trend line. Keep coming back. Go down, back up. We do have earnings next month, and then the inflation fears of whatever that's supposed to be is just not coming true, at least as an effect. Here's the SPY. Another reason to be looking at this whole area around 420, 425 is a prior unfilled gap from the breakdown last year and the last August high. I mean, you're coming into a whole lot of stuff. A lot of people are going to target that. So let it fall. This is today. Here's your 5 minute. Don't have any patterns yet. Anything showing up yet? The last pattern was that deep crab. What was that yesterday? So, all right. Nothing yet. Just kind of digesting last week. QQQ, same deal, but 338 sticks in my brain for the QQQ that we're gonna probably digest this for a little bit. There's the 4-hour chart, and why not? Why not wait? Look at the last couple of, really all year, several patterns back to back. 1, 2, 3 bullish in the last 6 months on the 4-hour, and then that bearish pattern still went through the 1, 2. You see this already coming off, but eye on the 4-hour chart again, because we are hitting right now with this little sell-off. We're hitting oversold, but you need that. You'll probably go to 4 o'clock today with that. Hey, Carthago saying Palantir, my pension fund, indeed. Thank you for that. Nice. No worries. Daniel's saying thanks for looking at the trash. I think you should thank everyone else in here for you shilling the trash and them looking at it. Nerd Herd, what's up, Nerd Herd? All right, 1 or 2 more. He's got Chipotle, CMG. Daily, weekly. I mean, that was a monster on the earnings. Oh, nice one. See, this is why you get the software, or at least try it out on TradingView, because you get fantastic patterns like that. Real nice reaction trade. What would make sense to me on Chipotle, and this is another, I think this is a forever stock. Come back to target 1, fill the gap. So maybe back down to 1780 and then resume that trend. Why no HSI? HSI didn't get up there, only amplified. What's the weekly look like that? Yeah, that's weekly, nice crab pattern. That's a beauty. That's a beauty on the weekly. Nice one. Because with this weekly close, you'll get a yellow dot. And the HSI for that yellow dot was all the way back here. So, okay, early on it though. Know that that probably doesn't go live until next week. Justin, I don't twist bioscience. Come on. That's got to be super low float. Yeah, all right, I get it. I get it, but guys, this is... So Justin's trying to shill a biotech, and I like it, and it tells me you've done the work, so I appreciate that. Why? Because it's an all-time pattern. You have yellow dot confirmation, and he's showing us that, yes, this week is the first time it's done a 3-bar breakout after the yellow dot. So, okay, twist, TWST. I would start looking at that, okay? It's not something I'm jumping into, but it has the things you want to see. I just, again, I come back to just wanting to stay with those other plays, those other type of plays. Slower, steadier plays, things like that. Keep an eye on that one. I will, and I'm developing a list. I like this stuff, but I just think there's better things. So let's do that. Let's cut it there. But I appreciate it, everybody. Come on back on Thursday. We'll give away some books. I haven't given away any book in 2 weeks. Get over to the basic members page. I also have a couple of new videos I'm going to be putting out, and I'm probably going to resume tweeting. I had to take a break off the Twitter thing. I'm starting to call it Trigger. You guys take care, though. Come on back Thursday, 12 noon Eastern. Until then, as always, go get them. Join me in the Discord if you want, and get with HPC at sr-analyst.com for TradingView access or any other.